What's up, everybody? It's your boy Melvin here in our classic review. Today I'm going to talk about my thoughts on the fourth and final of the Love Bug series. Of the original four, Herbie Goes Bananas, released back in 1980, more specifically June 27th of 1980. And this is the final one for this installment before, the remake or reboot of Fully Loaded, which, no. And this is where, well, Herbie visits Europe. Now it's time to go to south of the border. That's right. He's going to Mexico. And this is actually a funny one, actually. And this is kind of like one of the lower ones, because if you've seen the Rotten Tomatoes, it's at 40%. Unlike the others, like the first ones are in the 90s. The second one's in the 80s. The third is in the 60s. And this one's in the 40-ish. But yeah, you got some good humor here. Although it did age a bit. Well, they actually filmed it in South America and Mexico, so make it more genuine. They have stereotypes. By the way, it also stars new cast member including we have Cloris Leachman as Aunt Louis Trends, which she's a member within the cruise ship. Usually there's usually a conflict between her and the captain. She's well known. She's a comedian who spanned nearly 8 decades. She won many accolades, including 8 Primetime Emmy Awards from 22 nominations, making her the most nominated, and along with Julie Louis-Dreyfus. We also have, well, there's a lot more, actually. And she's in the title role. We have Charlie Martin Smith as Davy DJ Johns, who was actually one of him along with his friend are new owners of Herbie after picking up from the inheritance from his uncle. Yeah. Pete, who's the nephew of Jim Douglas. Which, of course, picking up sometime after the Trans race, Pete Checkett inherited Herbie from his uncle, Jim Douglas, and travels to Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, with his friend DJ to retrieve the car. They get directions from Paco, a comically mischievous orphan pickpocket kid, which, of course, this kid so at first starting to get into trouble. He likes to pickpocket everybody. I'm not joking. Yeah. Speaking of that, we have John Vernon as Prindle, which Prindle. We also have Pete, who is the nephew of Jim Douglas, played by Stephen W. Burns. We have Elisa Davalos as Melissa, Joaquin Guerrero III as Paco, who's the kid, the orphan boy who's a pickpocket. He's also befriended Herbie, and Herbie saved his life when he accidentally pickpocketed a couple of treasure hunters. And he hid inside Herbie's trunk, the front trunk, before boarding the cruise ship. And they had a little adventure, those two. We have Harvey Korman as Captain Blythe, the captain of the cruise ship, the Sea Princess, and also, okay, Paco and Herbie always encountered him and the other one, Lois. Those two. And I think it was around South America because, spoilers alert, he accidentally did the crime of sending Herbie overboard. After, let's just say, Paco and Herbie got into mischief, he gave one last chance. Which, of course, jinxed it. And, of course, he sends Herbie overboard. As it's saying, he walked the plank. And here's a fun fact about that. The prop Herbie Bell's jump into the ocean was never retrieved. Yeah, the one you see where they sent Herbie to a watery grave, they never retrieve it. That means that car's still underwater. The strange part is they don't, which part, where in the world in there? It has to be somewhere around the Mexico around there, the Gulf of Mexico or the South American waters there. So anybody who knows good coordinates, you got yourself a rare Volkswagen bug that's been down there since 1980. If it's still in good condition, that is. And a total of 26 VW Beetles were used by reason of quantity of stunts and tricks. If you've seen Herbie, dude, you guys see Herbie when he came out of the ocean, salt water. He looks like he's rusted, literally. Herbie manages to swim all the way to the Panama Canal. Literally, he managed to reach to the canals of Panama. And the guys from the tower see Herbie behind it looks like a cargo ship. And Herbie's right there tailing it. Until he encounters Paco after he manages to escape from both the security and the crooks who are waiting for him at the docks after docking there. He ends up in a camp full of hobos. And suddenly they counter Herbie, which of course they helped him pull Herbie out. Paco mistaken Herbie to be dead, but of course Herbie's still alive. But them hobos like, that must be valuable metal. They want to scrap Herbie, but they managed to escape. And guess what they do? Taxi service. And they had a song called My New Friend right there. Those two like their own little song called My New Friend right there. Paco and Herbie have a little adventure in South America. I think in Panama, I think. Because Herbie was entering Panama in the Panama Canal, so there he must be in Panama. Which, come on. Since we see Herbie having a little friend, besides being a race car, he's a taxi. Well, he does fit perfectly in that time period. Of course. Paco and Herbie are now doing service as taxi drivers, and guess what they encounter? The captain and the other lady. And soon they're being followed by the crooks again. That's when the captain realized, oh fuck. Even the lady, they're in the low car. They realize, god damn it. Then they encounter the other woman, who's I think she's the smart one, named Melissa. Oh boy. It's actually pretty funny. Oh boy. Actually, Paco gave Herbie a nickname, Ocho. I'd say he doesn't know how to read, so he doesn't know how to pronounce 53, which in Spanish means 53. That's the proper word to say the number in Spanish. But, hey, he's an orphan kid. You can't blame him. And we also have another plot, the villains who... A member of villains who are planning to steal gold from forgotten Inca ruins. So I think they're around somewhere in Peru or Colombia or Venezuela right there. Because they're looking for gold, a famous gold in the Inca ruins. Which of course the trio chase Paco after realizing the film showing the location of the gold is in the stolen wallet. But Pete and DJ catch him first. Paco hides in Herbie's hood and is consequently loaded onto the Sun Princess, which is the cruise ship, bound for Brazil, Rio de Janeiro. When Pete and DJ plan to enter Herbie in the Brazil Grand Premio en route, they meet an anthropologist student named Melissa and her extravagant, eccentric aunt Lois, who trying to find a husband for her niece. Damn, boy, girl. Oh, that. Sorry. Damn, Auntie's trying to get a hubby for her niece, huh? Come on. Let her choose her own man. That's all I'm saying. It turns out, which of course Herbie wreaks havoc on board. And also Pete tried to pretend to court Melissa, intending that her aunt will sponsor their race. Which, of course, they need the money, of course. This is the first race. Meanwhile, Paco is discovered by the crew and locked in the hold by Captain Blythe. Herbie, who Paco calls him Ocho, helps him escape. And you remember the taxi driver from Herbie Rise Again? Yeah, he was the one who's supposed to watch both of them while eating his food in the beginning. Well, technically, he was in the hole where the car is, eating his food. And of course, Herbie opens his hood. Paco manages to grab some food, which, of course, caused the havoc. Later, again, they're locked up and have... Of course, there was a costume party, and of course, they ruined the ship's costume party while trying to escape the crew. Well, of course, Captain Blight's pissed off about this. He actually fell his face in cake. Next day, he's pissed off, which of course talked to both Pete and DJ that they'll be dropped off in the next port, including Melissa and Aunt Lois. Before that, he was ordered to drop Herbie into the sea, which, holy shit. The next port, Paco invades the police, sent to pick him up, ended up in a inlet. That's when he ends up in a hobo camp by himself. That's when he encounters Herbie in the water, which, like I said, Herbie managed to travel all the ocean to the Panama Canal to, I don't know, I think somewhere in Brazil, I think. They're supposed to go to Brazil. I think they're somewhere in Panama, I think. Which is actually pretty funny. And the two go into the taxi business. And we have this cute scene where we see Herbie and Paco have a little fun time. They have their own song called My New Friend, which is kind of weird they didn't mention the soundtrack here. There are a lot of songs here. This is the only song here that's never mentioned. You have like orchestra music, like the melody for the romance for Herbie and Giselle from Monte Carlo. Including some goofs from Rights Again, even the Love Bug. This one has its own actual song between Herbie and Paco, and yet never mentioned. But in the opening credits, you actually see there's name a couple songs right there. And also, I like the opening scene where you see the logo of Herbie, shaped like a bug, and it turns to a Mexican towel, those scarves, like a type of scarf. Which makes, yeah, of course, they're in Mexico, of course. We have this beautiful view of the town of Puerto Vallarta, which is in Mexico, in the port, like the coastal side. This beautiful view. We see the bus where DJ and P are riding. Which, I have a question. How the fuck did Herbie end up in Mexico in the first place? And this picks up after the time of the Trans-France race, so... Okay, the film came out in 1978. This came out in 1980. I think. Let me see. Yeah, 1980. 2 years. What the fuck did Jim Douglas didn't leave him in the States? Why in Mexico in all places? We don't see him until the remake of The Love Bug. And we have no question about that. Eh. Good grief. Anywho. Sorry. The gold fiends soon find Paco, which of course friends use a scintillating torch to cut up Herbie if Paco doesn't give them the film. Which Paco put in Pete's wallet by mistake. Paco managed to get the Pete's wallet because guess where else to wear it? Working at a cafe, trying to get some money so he can go back in the States. Because remember, they kind of screwed up because of that. Of course, Paco managed to get his wallet. Of course, that's when the two realized they got jacked again. But as he and Herbie escape, the men, they are hailed by both Louis until they were both Oh my god. Guess who they ran into? And Lois, and Captain Blythe. Looks like they're touring around somewhere in Colombia or somewhere. And they end up in the same taxi and the same little car that was sucked in the sea. Which, oh shit. Miller quickly commandeers a diplomat. That's when, of course, as they're in the run, because of course he realized, Captain Blythe realized, oh crap, I'm in the little car. Get me out of here! Which, of course, the both of them scream for help, and we see Lois's niece seeing the whole thing, and of course, she counts the other two, Pete and DJ, trying to get a bus, and guess what she does? She stands in the middle of the bus stops. Dude, you guys see these buses. These buses are the bus that she stopped. This one looks like it's about to blow up. What's your chorus? A dilapidated bus. It's the perfect way. P and David can go after them. Paco explains the situation to their unhappy passengers. And guess where Herbie tries to hide from the men? At a bullfight arena. Only for them and the two men to end up in the ring. And guess what? The bad guys get... I think one of them accidentally insulted the bull, and the bull just knocked their car out, and they ran out chicken run. But Herbie's the only one, because I think the mentor was pissed off, so he threw his cape at Herbie, which of course Herbie managed to be the Matador, which is actually pretty funny, which we have to life bribing Paco. If they let him out, he'll be captain of his ship, which of course he loved the idea, but hey, this is the only way. You gotta be a bullfighter, and Herbie won the fight, which everybody cheers, and I think the captain actually enjoyed himself. He was wearing a Mantazor hat, along with Lois. I think Lois keep kissing him, because of course you see Captain Blythe. I think Paco opened the the sunroof. He tells the captain to come out and take a bow, which of course he actually likes it, because hey, he likes the attention. Which of course, what is that? After the bull is defeated by Herbie, he and Paco leave without Lois and Blythe, because there was a whole crowd of them, and he leaves them behind. Who soon picked up by Pete, DJ and Lois in the bus, where they explain what's happening. They're at the cafe. Paco grabbed, I think it was somewhere in a remote store, like a little cafe, until Paco's been kidnapped by the men. And soon, when Herbie heard the commotion, the plane was taken off. Herbie tried to chase him, but he failed to grab it. That's when the bus was they were traveling on went kaput. Literally, it went kaput. The engine blew. And Melissa's trying to tell the driver she's a spark, which the driver says fuego, which means, well, fire, but I say he's not a mechanic. And so they encounter Herbie, which they know something was wrong. Which they're in a small village, stuck in the small village. During the rainstorm, I think they asked for them. The crooks managed to arrive at the ancient Inca ruins. During the rainstorm, they managed to retrieve a large gold disc from the ruins, which is massive, and plan to sell it so they can hire equipment to get the rest. Billy Paco defend himself in the middle of the jungle, and that's where we got nightmare fuel. He's in the middle of the jungle in abandoned ruins. You can hear a bunch of animals, including jaguars. The black ones. They're native in the South America. The Black Panther, I think. The Black Jaguar, I think. Which, of course, who wouldn't be afraid? You're in the middle of the jungle. There's bulk is stricken. You're going to be screwed. Dude, he's being afraid. He's hiding under the ruins until guess who appears? Herbie. Yeah. Until, of course, Herbie finds them, and as the men are trying to load the gold disc, guess who appears? Herbie. He manages to catch the gold disc with his trunk and drives away. Herbie and the crew travel to the next major town using bananas as camouflage. Yeah, that's where the phrase Herbie Goes Bananas is from. Where Blythe and Lois go get help while the others take the disc to a local university where they're overpowered by the men. Paco is outside selling the bananas to locals when he and Herbie see the men loading the disc into their plane. And guess what? Herbie goes over there. He starts using the bananas as ammo, which, of course, Then we have this comedic when the Phoenix are trying to get the whole thing. They keep slipping on the bananas, literally. And the propeller is moving, and the banana keep hitting it. And banana splits. Yes, I have to do a banana split joke. Of course, I have to do. Okay, come on. Who can I be amused with that? You see Herbie throwing bananas at them, and they keep slipping on them. And the propeller's still going, making things worse. They're covered in bananas now. Soon they manage to get in the plane. They're about to leave. Herbie manages to get into the road runway. As for the others, they manage to get free. Which, of course, they manage to get the police. And Herbie manages to chase them. And guess what Herbie does? Herbie manages to grab hold on the tail. And guess what? He bit off the tail, which leaves the plane without a tail. Soon it lost its wings. And then, wham. It went kapoop. And of course, the police the crooks are arrested by police thanks to Paco and Herbie. Of course, everybody's reunited and they're on the Sun Princess. Pete and DJ resumed their plans to enter a repainted, restored Herbie in Brazil Grand Premio, with Paco dressed as the driver. Pete concedes that Paco and Herbie have a better connection than Pete would have if he drove Herbie in the race, which, yeah, after you kind of insulted Herbie for being junk when you first saw him. DJ finally asks Paco why he keeps referring Herbie as Ocho, since the Spanish is Spanish for 8. Which, of course, Paco looks at Herbie's 53 and remarks that a 5 plus 3 equals 8. He doesn't say the right number, he just does the math. Say, 5 más 3, 8. There, that's his name now. Of course, and Lois once again tries to get Blythe to notice her, and guess what? At first, Blythe starts to notice her until that's why he was looking at the portal. Guess what he sees? A passing schooner. An old sailing ship, which of course he prefers that better. After that, Pete, Davey, and Louie and Melissa have a toast, hoping that for Herbie to win the race, with Paco giving Herbie a thumbs up. Which, of course, I say Melissa and I think DJ? No, I think it was DJ or Pete who managed to have a little romance with Melissa. I think so, yeah. But yeah, as for the reception, let's just say it was poorly received and is widely considered to be the weakest film in the Herbie franchise. Most film critics said the series felt tired. It had run its course, with Leonard Maltin commenting that there was one amusing scene where the VW turns Montador, otherwise strictly scrap metal. That's what Maltin said. Who rated the film a half out of 4. 1.5 out of 4. Added that the plot dealt with his cast encountering all sorts of hilarious obstacles along the way. Phil Patton, author of the book Bug, The Strange Mutations of the World's Most Famous Automobile, observes that Herbie's franchise was a game of diminishing returns. Herbie Goes Bananas is filled with south-of-the-border cliches and stereotypes. The film has a 40% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, with a Metacritic. It has a weighted average score of 53 out of 100 based on 4 critics, which is mixed. Like I said before, as for the prop Herbie was used for when he sent him to the ocean, it was never retrieved, so I believe that Herbie is still underwater. So anybody's interested in salvaging the car, go right ahead. It's somewhere around the Mexico, Central, or South American water border, so good luck with that. As for home media release, it was released in VHS in 1984, and again 1985, and again 1996, and then it was first released on DVD on May of 2004, and then again in 2012 as part of the Herbie 4-movie collection with The Love Bug, Herbie Rises Again, and Herbie Goes to Monte Carlo. And in 2015, it also received its first Blu-ray as part of the Disney Movie Club exclusive title. And yeah, what's my favorite scenes of this? Well, you got the... Okay, yeah, I agree. The banana fight one was actually pretty funny. And the Montador. Since when you see Herbie as a Montador bullfighter? A bug versus the bull. It's actually pretty funny, actually. Plus the banana scene where you see Herbie full of bananas. Hey, he has ammunition. Let's throw some bananas. Oh boy. Especially the crooks are stupid. First rule about dodging bananas. Turn off your damn propeller. You'll make things worse and slippery. A slippery what banana? Woohoo! Which, oh boy. But yeah. I like how they took this to like mostly in the south of the border. Whenever we already seen half of the US, Europe, now we're in the south of the border. Well, it's kind of interesting. You see how the year is like. Remember, we're in 2023, and this was 1980. So you see how much has changed since then. But yeah, folks, those are my thoughts on Herbie Goes Bananas. And if you've seen the movie and if you enjoyed it, what was your first scene? I already mentioned mine, the bullfight and the banana fight scene. And the only scene that features a song with Herbie and Paco. That's the only one. Because, hey, that should be a soundtrack for that one. But yeah, let me know what you think of Herbie Goes Bananas. And this will be the final for the Love Bug series. Because, hey, Valentine's is over, so time to go for another review. But yeah, let me know what you think on the movie. Did you like it? Did you have some... What about my viewers from the Latin Americas, from south of the border? Did you enjoy this movie? Did you like it? Hey, let me know in the comments down below. And if you're new to the channel, remember to subscribe, hit the bell, like this video, and remember we're aiming at our goal of 1 million subscribers. Or at least 500k, because by May of 2023 of this year marks our 11th anniversary that we started this channel from 2013 to 2023. So let's make this happen. But yeah, until then, have a great day, everybody. Peace out.